Good afternoon, friends. The Lord be with you. I hope you're well in this crazy time. It's August 26, 2020, and I want to share a word with you today. A couple of quick announcements before we have the Devo moment today, and that is, of course, our heartfelt prayers and concern go to those in the pathway of Hurricane Laura, which is approaching the coast of Texas. And Louisiana will be affected greatly. It looks like it's going to be a life-changing event for many people. We pray for their safety and for their sustenance and recovery. Along those lines, we as a church always have a time, a United Methodist Committee on Relief special offering that's taken to go especially toward alleviating the circumstances, the plight of people who are in the storm's path. And this is certainly the case. It's already being set up through the Committee on Relief as an advanced special. If you'd like to give to that today or in the days ahead, you may go to the St. Paul Give site, the website, and the giving links. And there is on the Rebel Give a place where you can do that. All that money, as usual, through the Committee on Relief goes specifically toward expenses, toward helping people in their need, their times of need. Common sense, as my wife's Uncle Henry told us when we evacuated for Hurricane Katrina, common sense tells you, as well as the meteorologists, that it's not going to be good. So our hearts go to them. The other thing is we will be resuming in-person worship this Sunday, observing all the protocols that we did before we suspended service again, that is with masks and physical distancing. The schedule now for resuming for this time, at least in these weeks in time, will be 9 o'clock service at downtown campus with the doors opening at 8:30 when you may come in, 9 o'clock, and that's a change. And then, of course, 11:11, live at 11:11 at East Campus. For now, those are the two Sunday morning services in person that we will be offering. As usual, we'll be continuing to offer online these services. And we understand if you are in that camp where you feel like it's not time to come back, even with those precautions, we support you in that, pray for you in that. I want to share with you a story today, really a thought today, from Anne Broyles in the Disciplines book, Upper Room Disciplines book. I was familiar with this writer because she did a book some years ago about spiritual journaling that really caught my attention. But she went through a time when she said, my oncologist, I never expected to use that word, along with breast cancer and mastectomy, was doing a routine mammogram, and it sent her life spinning when they made that detection. She said, I found my language had shifted, as had my perception of what really mattered. I made a quick life review, and I felt deep thanksgiving at all I had. I also fell into the arms of God and the support of people who loved me. Well, she also cites our text for today, our text for this week, from Matthew's Gospel, chapter 16, and Eugene Robinson's The Message. And the title for 16:21 through 26 is, You're Not in the Driver's Seat. Let me just read verses 21 through 26 of The Message. Then Jesus made it clear to his disciples that it was now necessary for him to go to Jerusalem, submit to an ordeal of suffering at the hands of the religious leaders, be killed, and then on the third day be raised up alive. Peter took him in hand, protesting, Impossible, Master, that can never be. But Jesus didn't swerve. Peter, get out of my way. Satan, get lost. You have no idea how God works. Then Jesus went to work on his disciples. Anyone who intends to come with me has to let me lead. You're not in the driver's seat. I am. Don't run from suffering. Embrace it. Follow me and I'll show you how. Self-help is no help at all. Self-sacrifice is the way, my way, to finding yourself, your true self. What kind of deal is it to get everything you want but lose yourself? What could you ever trade your soul for? You're not in the driver's seat. Boy, I tell you, that's a word for today when we have this hurricane bearing down on our brothers and sisters over there to the west of us in a big way. And when we're in the middle of a worldwide pandemic and many other things. Certainly, we are commissioned, as always, to live and breathe and to share the good news of Jesus Christ. But Jesus also says we're to take up our cross and follow him, that's part of what it's about. I think a lot of that is always holding in heart and mind as we live through our days what the true cross of Jesus is. The true cross that we would see, as that helpful expression goes, the cross as we see it from the foot of the cross, the foot of the true cross. There's a wonderful story from Christian tradition that I'm going to be using as a basis for my message Sunday. It's about Helena, who was the mother of Emperor Constantine, and her search for the true cross. It's a very helpful story because we want to keep in mind always the true cross of Jesus, which helps us to know that we're not in the driver's seat. Jesus explains how his earthly story will end when the disciples balk, when they say through Peter, "Lord, forbid it, this must never happen to you." Jesus says, you have no idea how God works. In other words, if you're calling me back from this route that leads me to Jerusalem, suffering and death on a cross, and he said, on the third day, I will rise again, you have no idea how God works. So Jesus asks us to set our mind on divine things. And again, I believe what that encompasses, so much of what that encompasses, is Jesus' way and viewing Jesus again from the foot of the cross in his sacrificial love for us. Keeping our eyes on Jesus, on his example and his words, and remembering that ultimately we are not in the driver's seat. He's given us great authority, just as he did his disciples, to live, to heal, to proclaim, but ultimately we're not in the driver's seat. And when we hear this as not only a word of truth, but a word of grace, we'll know something of what it means to be truly blessed. God be with us all today as we journey forth in our view and in our search to the true cross of Jesus, and remembering gracefully we are not in the driver's seat. Thanks be to God.